from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
And good afternoon, everyone. Forecaster John Bordash back with you here to give you an afternoon update on what we're looking at. And we are now looking at our winter storm to be departing out of the region. The last few snow showers are beginning to wrap up. We are seeing clearing conditions across parts of PG and Charles County and northern parts of Calvert County. Again, still have a couple of snowflakes holding on in southern parts of Calvert County and St. Mary's County, but those should begin to end as we head towards, let's say about 4 o'clock or so. I think we should be cleared of any snow potential. We have seen a decent amount of snow. Going over some of our latest snowfall reports that have been coming in, we saw a general 6 to 12 inches, and I can show you what that looks like here on a different program. And they've been coming in sporadically, so they don't all populate right away. But some of these snow totals that have been reported so far, and we can turn a couple of these layers off. We're getting a report of 8 inches, 8.7, almost 9 inches on over towards Callaway. I've measured 10 inches here in Prince Frederick, about 6 inches on over towards Essex, Virginia, near 14 inches of snow near Fredericksburg, 11 inches of snow just south of Annapolis. And if we take this back in time, we've had additional snow reports throughout the day. We had a report of 12 inches on over towards Churchton in Anne Arundel County, a report of 13 inches actually on over towards Dunkirk, which would, that's the biggest sort of locally in our region that I've seen so far, and a report of 10 inches on over towards the Dentsville area. So we've seen a rather active day across our region. Many areas have been able to squeeze out 6 to 12 inches of snow, even more. I see one comment just coming in, 14.5 inches on over towards Waldorf. And I see that we also have some people reporting that they're still without power. And I believe our power outage numbers are still sitting pretty elevated the last time I checked. Let me double check that. Right now we're still sitting at 42,000 customers without power. And I can show you what that map looks like here. Let's swing things over here. Let's come down. So let's switch this over to our zip code, by zip code. So Mechanicsville and La Plata are the two biggest spots that we have power outages right now. Earlier, we saw a lot of power outages down in Lesby and in Prince Frederick, as well as Huntingtown. Those numbers have come down, but now we're seeing them begin to increase out here in Mechanicsville, La Plata, Indian Head, and then on over up into the Akakie region. So all of those areas right now are the ones that are looking like they have the highest power outage potential. Now, thankfully, because we are seeing the snow wrap out of the region, we are looking at conditions to be favorable for snow companies to get out there, or not, well, for them to get out there, but for Smeco crews to get out there. Winter's still a little gusty, which doesn't necessarily work in their favor, but conditions are improving, so they should be able to get to work on restoring everyone's power at the best way possible. Here's a look at that updated threat timeline I produced for you right around noon today. We are looking at that snow that is indeed gradually ending across the area. Those temperatures will fall throughout the night, and those wind gusts will also subside a little bit, which is good, but those road impacts will remain elevated. Tonight, we're getting temperatures down into the teens. Look at that, 19 in Leonardtown, 17 in Waldorf, 15 in Annapolis. And you actually notice that the coldest temperatures aren't to the north, they're in our area to the south. And that's because we'll have a snow cover, and when you have snow on the ground, it cools down the temperature, which I think when I say it, it sounds like, of course it does, but it's a white base, so it doesn't absorb heat as much. It lets go of heat, so that allows for temperatures to get cooler where you can get snowfall. Look at Salisbury, getting down to a low temperature of 10. That will lead to high travel impacts. Why is it going to lead to high travel impacts? Well, we have a lot of snow on our highways. It's going to be difficult for snowplows to completely clear them because they haven't really been able to keep up with it throughout the storm because there was so much snow. So I think we're going to be still talking about our main roads, our highways still having issues. Maybe some of them get plowed, but I still think we'll have some snow on them. Snow-covered secondary roads and back roads, plenty of slick spots and black ice. While the snow we have won't be melting, any liquid that is out there will become a puddle, and then it is a puddle and will become a sheet of ice. Think back to this morning when we saw rain and sleet. So any of that wetness or the slush that will turn into a nice ice layer for you. The same is going to be true in that medium impact zone. Granted, they didn't see as much snow up there, so you're really only talking about issues on those secondary roads, and some impacts are going to be possible. Once you head up towards Frederick and Winchester, but I think you're really just talking about some spotty instances of black ice, not so much snow on the roads. This looks almost identical to the snow or the school lots forecast for tomorrow. Take a look at travel impacts, and this is school lots. It looks very similar. Closings are going to be likely from DC to Annapolis on over towards Dover, points south. So these areas that have seen the highest snowfall totals, that's where we're talking about closings being likely for tomorrow. It is, I can't remember a time we've seen 8 to 12, 8 to 14 inches of snow, and school has been open the next day. So I don't anticipate at least school buildings being open. Now, how school districts decide to work with virtual learning, I don't know. That will just take the place. I would definitely consult your local school district on that and learn those policies and procedures. But school closings, at least for the buildings, are likely. DC points south. Just to the north of DC, delays are going to be likely because they did see snow, and there will be issues tomorrow morning in those locations. Closings could be possible, though, but far to the north, I don't think we're really talking about much. As we head into tomorrow, temperatures look to rebound at least a little bit. We should get slightly above freezing. The good news is that wind will calm down big time. We're only talking about variable winds at 2 to 5 miles an hour. Temperatures barely get above freezing, so it will still feel cold. So if power hasn't been restored by this point, I do think conditions will be prime for Smeckle crews to get out and get that done with. And tonight, or the rest of this afternoon and this evening, will be a good time to get some shoveling done. And then tomorrow will feature good shoveling weather. So yes, and I see lots of comments about thank you, and thank you all for tuning in. I mean, I enjoy doing this. So I would do this anyway. I mean, you can ask my family and friends growing up. Like, I would do this like when I was like 14. They'll be like, John, like no one's like, you're doing it like a broadcast, but no one's watching it. So I just appreciate that my information can help people. But I do want you to keep in mind as we head into tomorrow that these impacts aren't just going to disappear. We're going to be looking at snow-covered roadways through tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be a cold day. We do warm things up a little bit Wednesday, 10-day forecast. Hopefully should be out later on this afternoon. I'm going to try to get that out before I go to sleep, because when I go to sleep, I'm just probably going to pass out until tomorrow morning. It's been a long day. I think between Saturday morning and right now, I think collectively have bagged about 6 hours of sleep, which is fine. I've been running on adrenaline the entire time, but I'm feeling that begin to empty. And so when I'm done this, I'm going to go shovel so I can, keep that up. But I will say that our travel impacts will be lingering tomorrow. I want to come back here. This won't just be for tomorrow morning. Like, I drove down here. My hotel reservation was only for last night and tonight. I'm thinking about extending it until Wednesday night now, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to drive home up to Pennsylvania with the way that the roads look across our area. So I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Do I really want to? But that's something, like, we will have travel impacts tomorrow. That black ice will be around. And I mean, temperatures tomorrow tonight get down into the upper teens with that northwest wind of up to 16 miles an hour, gusts up to 25 will make it feel like the lower teens. And then highs only get up into barely above freezing. So we're looking at, we're looking at travel impacts that are likely to stick around for tomorrow. But you can get all this information in the article I just typed up. It is on all over social media. If you just head to jbweather.net, you'll see it. It's in the description of this video. So if you click the see more, you should be able to get that. And yeah, that's, I think, what we're going to be talking about. Weather looks to quiet down Wednesday, first half of Thursday, and then maybe we introduce the idea of another round of potential snow for Thursday evening. But we will talk about that when the time comes. I don't have the mental capacity to talk about it right now, and I think we all just want to focus on getting out of one storm before we get into the next. It doesn't look to be like the storm we just had. Granted, I'm saying that, and I'm probably going to jinx it. But I mean, it's definitely been a very active day. It's, I think, been a successful day from a forecast standpoint. I called 4 to 8, and we saw in some cases double that amount, but I think it was a good place to start with, and I'm very happy with the way things have turned out. And I am not happy that we have so many power outages. I've never seen, in the last few years at least, in the last few years, I haven't seen a snowstorm produce so many widespread power outages. We normally get that with hurricanes and with tornadoes. The snowstorms lately, mainly because we haven't had that many, and when we've had snowstorms, it's been a fluffy snow. This was a heavy, wet snow with gusty winds. So that's knocked out a lot of power across the region, and I underestimated that. And now we're looking at over 40,000 people without power. That equates to 1 in 4 Smecco customers being in the dark right now. So we're going to send good vibes to the Smecco people that they're able to get that taken care of. And I see someone wants to know about school outs. School outs are already out. That's the best news. Here are the school outs for tomorrow. I expect every school system south of DC to close tomorrow. I don't see a way that any schools open tomorrow. Granted, they might choose to do virtual learning instead. So just, I guess, to cover my own behind, I am saying school buildings are likely to be closed. Whether or not learning still happens, I don't know. But I do think that school building closings are likely across the region tomorrow. So I need to go shovel. And I wanted to get one last broadcast in before I change into my shoveling gear, which is not wearing a tie. So, yes, stay weather aware. Stay safe out there. Now would be a great time to get some shoveling done. We're looking at the storm pushing out. If we just take one last look at radar, you see the last of the snow is now pushing out of southern St. Mary's County. So we have improving conditions gradually, and power will get restored eventually, and the roads will eventually get cleared. So have a nice and safe one, and keep it tuned here to JB Weather. Oh, and I do see one quick question. Kathleen wants to know when the winds will die down. I'll bring that up quickly for you. Winds will gradually die down overnight tonight, but they're still going to be pretty gusty. Gusts potentially getting upwards of 25 miles per hour at times. So stay weather aware. Stay tuned. I will have more updates this evening. This will likely be the last live broadcast, but who knows? And my big goal tonight is to get a 10-day forecast completed for you and to get a map compiled of snowfall totals you've seen across the region. So you can submit your snowfall total by going to jbweather.net. Click on that most recent article, the one that's linked in this video. There is a slot for you to submit snow totals. Please do that so I can get a better read on how much snow we've seen across the region. The National Weather Service reports are kind of spotty, especially across our area. So I would like to get that information to really kind of assess what's gone on and share that with you all, and just so you know how much your neighbor got. So have a nice and safe one. I've said that again, and we're going to do it this time. I'm going to go shovel as much as I don't want to. Keep it tuned here, and I'll continue to keep you updated. Have a nice and safe one, friends, and stay warm.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.